Hello, Professor. Before I start, number one, your dogs are adorable. Well, your dog, I didn't get to see the other one, but your dog is so cute. And that's so funny that he whines at people. I absolutely love that. All right. And also, I'm really sad that this is my last final. You were joking when you said that I should take more classes from you, but I looked through the list to see if I could do any more classes, and I couldn't find you anywhere. But man, I'm going to look every single year now to try to get a class from you, because I love this. I looked into philosophy minor too. I was like, oh, but I really don't want to take a class unless it's from you, because you're just so entertaining, and I love it so much. I just understand it. Anyway, sorry. Starting my final. Now, my final is on Aristotle. Hold on, let me pull up my other page. Yeah, my final is on Aristotle. Now, Aristotle is an empiricist, not a rationalist. And that means, an empiricist means that he thinks that, any empiricist thinks that our senses give us the information that we use to understand, and says that the things that we see, that we experience, are matter. They're made of matter. Now, and he talks about a little bit about metaphysics, which concerns the nature of reality. It's what does it mean to be real? What does it mean to exist? And Aristotle says that things are matter. If you exist, you are matter. And that is like textbook materialism. And materialism is whatever exists is dependent on the matter for its existence. There's no soul and no spirit. That's what Aristotle believes. Like, if you bump into it and you feel it, it's real. That's what Aristotle believes. Where idealism is where the external world is built from the mind. There's no material things. There are only ideas. That's what Plato thinks. But we're going to focus on Aristotle. Now, and he also does this, and that's metaphysics, and he also does it through epistemology. And epistemology is the way that we understand it. And there's two different ways that we can understand it. There's the rational way, which is our ideas are achieved by reason, and we're born with ideas, and that's Plato. And then an empiricist is the information that's gathered around us using our senses. And we begin by the experience. We start to know because of our experiences, because of our senses. And that's Aristotle. Now, there are two types of wisdoms that Aristotle believes, and the first one is oh my goodness, what a tongue twister, the philosophical wisdom, which is the discovery of the thing. It's the seeking the truth. And then that first type of intellect is the principles behind it, the why, the how, that kind of thing. And then the second type of wisdom is practical wisdom. And practical is the wisdom that, my bad. On the first intellect, it's the principles behind it, the why. And then the practical wisdom is how we find out why. It gives us a guide for our daily life of how. It gives us a why it happens, a how it happens. It explains it in that second wisdom. And it explains it with substances and their changes, their accidents. So a substantial change is a change that something makes upon itself. So a living thing that follows an organic trail, that's a substantial change. So like a tree growing, or a chicken maturing, or a human growing up, or maybe moss growing, or something decaying, that's a substantial change. And an accidental change is a change that is forced upon it. And an accidental change refers to the not living, the inorganic, and the irregular. So if a wind blows, this was your example, if a wind blows leaves out of a tree, or if a hurricane destroys a building, or if somebody breaks, if somebody chops down the tree was not meant to be chopped down, but if somebody does it, that is an accidental change. It's inorganic and it's irregular. There's not just instances of the tree chopping itself down. That's not going to happen. And then we move on to matter and form. What is matter? Well, matter is the substance behind it. It's the molecules in the cells that form the arrangements of that thing. It's the end what. And the form is recognizable, and it's common between things. So your matter, the things that it is, make something else, and then it's common to see the similarities between that. Like I have a pretty funky looking keyboard, which that goes into the forms. But the matter in my keyboard is just plastic, but it doesn't look the same as other people's. But you still know it's a keyboard because it has the letters, and that's what the form is. It's the arrangement of that thing, the end what, and the form is recognizable. So you still know that this is a keyboard, even though it probably looks a little bit different than yours. The arrow keys are a little weird and it's spaced out so that I type like this instead of like this, and but you still know that it's a keyboard because of the common themes between it. Now going into potentiality, and the potentiality is the matter. It's the cell, it's the material, it's the before, it's the what it is. And so like this is plastic, and that can be your matter, is the plastic. And then what can you turn the plastic into? Well, I mean, at the school that I work at, there's plastic dinosaurs. And so your plastic could be a dinosaur. And right here, the plastic is a keyboard. I know I've got plastic, people have plastic in glasses. And that's what the actuality is. The actuality is the finished form from the matter, from the potentiality. And so that is like the glasses, or I have plastic clips up here, or these lights right here are made out of plastic. This is plastic. Like that's the actuality, but the potentiality is the matter. It is the cells and the tissues and whatever it is that make up that thing. Substantial and accidental changes. I think I already covered that, but substantial change is the change. It makes the living organism's course of life, what it would do regularly, and what is living. And accidental change is change that is forced upon it. It refers to the not living, the inorganic, and the irregular. And there are four causes, although I'm still a little confused on how to put the causes together. But the first cause is the material cause. It's the matter that is. The second cause is the formal cause, and that follows a law of growth or change. So a person aging and getting a little bit older, a tree growing tall, a chicken, being, again, growing older and maturing and getting feathers. And that is the formal cause, and the efficient cause is what starts that development. So it's the insemination of a chicken egg, or it's the seed that gets planted in the ground and the water. So what starts that development? And then the final cause is your end product. So it is the chicken, it's the human, it's the tree, it's whatever it is. But yeah, I think that's all I got for you. I think I covered it all. Let me take a peek. Yeah. Oh, I guess I didn't really talk about forms too much. I kind of glossed over that. But there's two different types of forms. And the lower form is the imperfections. It's the reasonings. It's the stuff that we experience in our day to day. It's not perfect. We reason things through science and through specific rules, and it has to follow these things to be that. Even if they're not all the same, you still know that an apple is red, even though maybe some apples are darker red or some are a lighter red, or like a red apple still is red. It's a lower form. It's imperfect. And us humans are very much imperfect. We are lower forms. And the higher form is the perfect. It's the perfection. It's the understanding. It's the perfect idea of what an apple is, the perfect shade of red, the perfect shape, the perfect texture when you bite into it. That is your higher form. And the forms are the perfection. That higher form is the perfections of what exists. And everything has imperfections, and that's the lower form. Yeah, I think that's it. Anyway, it has been a pleasure to be in this class. I have loved researching and reading and watching your lectures and reading through your lectures. It has been so amazing. And like, I have used so much of this, especially that first lesson was super impactful. I love that you started that first lesson with communication, because that was something that I was able to pick and latch onto and take, and I started using it in my daily life immediately. Like the understanding and the patience that first lesson gave me just with my students was absolutely amazing. But I've absolutely loved being in your class. It is so sweet that you think I'm such a good student, that I'm so excited. It really means a lot. You were saying that and I was just smiling. I was so happy. But, oh, I'm out of time. Goodbye, Professor. See you later.